Mr. Jackson, would you please introduce yourself and give us your DOC number?
Name Melvin Jackson, 263709.
Thank you, Mr. Jackson. Mr. Jackson, let me explain our process to you. First, I'm going to read some information into the record, and then we're going to conduct a parole interview with you. We'll also talk to the warden about what he knows about you. And then anyone who has wishes to have input will have an opportunity to speak. We have several people today that wish to have input. Miss Jennifer Cameron is with you today. She is your attorney. Ms. Cameron, if you'd make an appearance for the record, I'd appreciate it.
Yes, Your Honor. Jennifer Cameron on behalf.
Also, Mr. Tyrone Smith with First 72 is going to be speaking, and Melvin Jackson, your son, is going to be speaking. Terry Roby, who is your fiance, is present but not speaking. In opposition, we have Mr. Randall Meyer from the Jefferson Parish District Attorney's Office. At the end of that hearing, you'll have an opportunity to say whatever you'd like to say. Then your lawyer will close out for you, and then we'll vote. Do you understand our process, sir?
Yes, sir.
This is Melvin Jackson, DOC number 709, I'm sorry. Date of birth, June 27th of 1960. He is a second-class felony offender. He has a parole eligibility date of September the 9th of 2021. He has an adjusted good time date of September the 4th of 2085, full-term date of September the 10th of 2100. He is currently serving a 99-year sentence on armed robbery and conspiracy to commit armed robbery, having been sentenced on May the 28th of 2003. Mr. Jackson, does that information all sound correct?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Jackson, your case has been assigned to Mr. In the interview process. Would you please answer any questions he might have?
Yes, sir.
Ms. Roche?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good afternoon, Mr. Jackson. How are you?
Doing okay, sir. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you for asking. Mr. Jackson, you're currently 63 years old. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And you are classified as a second felony offender.
Yes, sir.
And you served approximately 22 years of a 99-year sentence.
Yes, sir.
And that's only 22% or 22.5% of what the judge sentenced you to. And I just needed you to know that. It's only 22% of your sentence. Your last hearing was on April 13th, 2022. You were denied. Is that correct?
Sir.
And you were denied because you needed some programs. You had a history of drug and alcohol abuse, and you had law enforcement opposition and opposition from the judge. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And you've lost 389 days good time over a period of 22 years. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And you've only recovered 90 days of that 389 days simply because you were still getting write-ups as of 2020. So we're going to discuss your disciplinary a little bit later, but that's the reason why you can't recoup your good time, because you, as of 2.5, 3 years ago, you were still getting write-ups.
Yes, sir.
So tell me exactly what your current job assignment is.
I'm in the field, sir.
Okay, you're in the field. After 22 years of incarceration, you're still working in the field?
Yes, just got transferred from another place. I've been here for like a year, and
Okay. So let me see where you've been. So you just came to so you were at Louisiana State Penitentiary since 2003?
yes, sir.
And you just got transferred there about 18 months ago,
Yes, sir.
okay? And that's the only job you've had at regular board in the last 18 months?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Have you had a chance to earn trustee status?
Earned trustee status? No,
Yeah, you have any vocational skills?
yes, I do.
Tell me about
I have classes, I have thinking for a change.
the vocational skills.
Yes, you do. No, I don't have no vocational skills here.
Welding, carpentry, culinary arts.
No, sir.
Okay,
No.
were you employed at the time you were incarcerated?
Before I got incarcerated, yes, sir.
Okay, what were you doing before you got incarcerated?
I was doing banquets at a hotel, sir.
You were a caterer.
Yes. Yes, sir.
Okay, were you a caterer or did you work for the hotel and work banquets?
I worked for a hotel and I did banquet.
Okay, all right. Anything other than that?
Yeah, I did 4 years in the Navy.
Okay,
Mhm.
thank you for your service.
Yes, sir.
And what years did you serve in the US Navy?
What year did I serve there? I went from 80 to 84. I did 4 years there and 2 years inactive.
What was your assignment with the Navy?
I was seaman, interior communications. I was fixing all the communications on the boat.
Okay, with that kind of knowledge, why didn't you pursue that technology area once you got out the Navy?
Well, sir, I did some Cox cable before I did banquets.
Yeah.
But I got into the hotel field because I had better opportunity in there. Because I started off in the hotel field as a bus driver. Then I worked my way into banquets as a manager.
Okay, great, okay. Tell us about your transition plan. Where do you plan to live and where do you plan to work?
Well, sir, as you say, I got a beautiful fiancée that's I'm finna marry when I get home. You know, I'm going to work with trucking. I'm planning on going, get my CDL, get my license, get my CDL. And my son, he owns a trucking service. But,
Okay.
yeah.
Where's home?
Where's home? We're at New Orleans.
Okay. Any organizational participation while you're incarcerated? Do you belong to any organizations?
No, sir. But I did a lot of things while I was incarcerated. I worked at the hospital in Angola for 7 years, and I did a lot of hospitals.
Hospice?
Yeah, you know, I worked, and then after the 7 years, I did a lot of tier walking for, you know, doing that kind of things. And then after my last 2 years, before I got transferred here, I worked in the business shed as a cook.
Your lawyer sent in a long list of accomplishments. Just tell us some of the programs that you completed in the last 22 years.
Well, since I've been here, I did Thinking for a Change. I did anger management. I did living and balance, substance abuse. And I just finished this program. Just give me a minute. Victim impact.
Let's talk about drugs and alcohol.
Okay.
Have you ever abused illegal drugs?
Yes, sir. That's the reason why I'm here.
At what age did you start using illegal drugs?
Like 23, I smoked marijuana. Then as the years go on, I gradually went to something stronger,
And what's stronger?
like crack cocaine.
Have you ever abused alcohol?
I should drink beer occasionally.
But you've never abused alcohol.
If you say abusing by over drinking, getting drunk and stuff like
Yeah.
that. Yeah,
Yeah.
I have. Yeah, I think yes, sir. I have got drunk before when I was.
Okay. How long did you use illegal drugs?
Well, since I was 23 years old, I started at 23. And
And you were incarcerated at 42, so about 20 years.
yes, sir. Yeah, we could say that number. That's a good number.
Mr. Jackson, are you a drug addict?
Yes, sir.
When's the last time you used illegal drugs?
Ooh, it's been. I smoked one joint when I was incarcerated. That was the first time about my first year here in prison. After that, drugs really caused me all the pain, and I caused a lot of people a lot of pain from doing drugs. So as I grew and noticed the form of what drugs do to me, I backed off from, it's just something that I quit and I get the help that I need.
I'm going to read you the notes from one of the members from your last hearing. She says, needs to demonstrate more consistency and be write-up free a longer period of time. Reapply when you're eligible and you have the ability to follow the rules. And she recommended that you take another substance abuse program in Thinking for a Change. I think you completed Thinking for a Change.
Yes, sir.
Have you taken any more substance abuse education?
I took 1 and 2, phases 1 and 2 of substance abuse.
Okay, and when did you complete that?
Completed that. I completed since I've been here.
Okay, okay. So you did exactly what she asked you to do.
Yes, sir. And I came right up free.
Now, we still got to talk about your disciplinary
Okay.
issue.
All right, sir.
Okay. So why should I vote to release you today?
Sir, today, sitting before you, sir, is a change, man, to where programs that I have took and my spirituality have changed to the point to where I think before I do something. I think about the consequences. I think about the people I might hurt. So the things that you should do to be a better person, things that you shouldn't do that hurt people, and using drugs. That's one of them. That's one of the worst things I could have did, and I have done, and I eliminated that from my life. I wouldn't even drink a half a beer right now. That's a trigger for drugs. You drink a beer, then you want a stronger drink, then you move to a marijuana, then now you had cocaine, then you go to heroin, and I know my triggers now, so to where I would never use drugs. I would never trigger myself. My environment, I would never go back around people that I was around. I changed my environment. People that I knew before, no, that's a trigger to the thing that you did in the past.
Thank you, Mr. Jackson. You've been on supervision twice, in 1987, in 1990, and you completed both of those supervisions successfully. And that's a plus. You have opposition from the Jefferson Parish DA's office, and Mr. Randy Myers is here today, and he will make a statement a little later. You have 8 arrests on your record and 5 convictions. So I'm going to ask you, are you tired?
Yes, sir. I'm extremely tired.
So why only 3 years ago you were still getting write-ups?
Well, sir, thanks to where my last 3 write-ups you can see was cell phones. and being incarcerated and doing the things that, well,
So you've been incarcerated for 22 years.
sure,
You know the cell phone is prohibited and will get you a write-up every time.
sure,
You've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 contraband write-ups between 2016 and 2020. And you've been in lockdown 5 times during that period.
yes, sir.
So what happened in 2020, in November of 2020, that made you make up your mind that you're gonna stand up and fly right?
Well, keep on taking a step forward and taking 3 steps backwards, sir. I got tired of really doing that, you know. And like you said, you get tired, and I got wiser. I get more mature, you know, to look at things to where I should be a better example for the kids that I'm around. Instead of being a negative, I should have been a positive. And I started being a more positive force that I am now.
Ward Meyer, would you like to make any comments, observations?
Yes, sir, Mr. Roche. You know, you correctly point out prior to 2020, his conduct history was very less than desirable. But you know, I can speak to the time that he's been with me in these last 18 months, and you know, he really kind of hit the ground running here. He did. He's taken all the programming that he was asked to take, living in balance, thinking for a change, cage of rage, and will be completing victim impact, graduating from that this Friday. He got involved in my Strive program, which is, as you know, is my honor program. So you know, since he's been with me, he's done very well. You know, I'm hoping it's the environment that he's in and structure, but he's drastically improved. I will say that.
Thank you, Ward. Mr. Jackson, one last question. And this is a major concern of mine. You're 63 years old. You're backing up at least 75 years on your sentence. What, your third felony offender?
My second step felony.
Your second felony offender.
Yes, sir.
And you're backing up 75 years on your sentence. You've only served 22% of your sentence. Tell me why I should vote to release you with that kind of time left on your sentence.
Yes, sir. Well, sir, like you said earlier, I have really changed. Programs I took have gave me a whole different outlook on how to do things, how to conduct myself in manners, and how to present myself in situations, sir. I plan on, when I get out, get into an AA program, you know, to keep me established from being another drug problem. Because I know drugs is the trigger to cause me to do the things that I do. So if I keep me an AA program going, that's going to keep me focused on the things. And then my spirituality is at a point to where I know if I place God first in my life, and I know if I give him the honor and I do things of him, of his commandments, nothing I could do wrong. But these are things that changed me to better my behavior. And now that the way I'm just doing all positive things, you know. And if I just look that way and stay focused on the positive things in life, change my environment that I'm going to do, change the people that I associate with that I'm going to do, the things that I do right now, I won't be a disappointment. I won't return back to prison. I guarantee that.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Jackson, may I make one suggestion to you? You're 63 years old. And in your mid-70s, you're gonna need a source of income. And you said you wanted to go to truck driving school and get your CDL. You might consider finding a good job, paying into Social Security for 10 years, become eligible, so you have a retirement when you get to be 73, 74 years old. It's just a thought I had, and I need to give you that because, you know, I'm well over 73, 74, and I know at my age, my retirement is a blessing. And if you try to get self-employed, it may be difficult to earn a sufficient number of credits, Social Security, so you can get a retirement. Mr. Chairman?
Thank you, Mr. Roche. Now we'll hear from Mr. Tyrone Smith.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I'm Pastor Tyrone Smith, the first 72 plus. Yeah, I heard everything about Mr. Jackson, and we have a program called a 9-step to staying free. Some of the same classes, some other classes that we teach every Wednesday here at the first 72 plus. And I think that if he's successful in gaining his freedom, that he could attend these classes. And plus, 60% of the people at my church are formerly incarcerated. So if he be a part of the church in the part of 72 plus, we can make sure that he stay on the straight and narrow and continue on doing everything he needs to do to stay free.
Thank you very much. We appreciate your comments. Then we hear from Mr. Melvin Jackson, Mr. Jackson's son.
Yeah, hey, how y'all guys doing?
Doing good. Thank you.
Thank you. I remember coming back, being at the first parole board meeting, and the lady was saying that my dad had all the support in the world, but he just had to work for it. And it made me so proud to hear what the warden was just saying. It got me teary-eyed. And my daughters used to visit him all the time at the heart program, and you know, they never knew that he was in prison. And they always used to say that, you know, I can't wait till Pawpaw come home when you're gonna visit, because they never knew he was visiting on them in prison. So I have 5 other kids now that he can meet and make memories with. I have a successful trucking company. I've been running trucks for 7 years, and I know my dad kept on saying he wanted to be a CDR driver. When he was gonna get home, he was gonna come work for me as a really, I was going to start him off as a dispatcher. But my dad always say to me, hey, I want to drive trucks. I was saying that he can probably start off dispatching, but financially, I don't want to sound, I'm very successful. My business is very successful, so he's not going to have to really worry about, you know, finances. But we're very hard working, and he's going to start off working hard. But I love what the other guy just said about, you know, working, getting a regular job, working, getting his Social Security also, and that'll be a great option. But I know one thing for sure, that once y'all let him out, he's never going back to jail again, because I have a relationship with my dad. We talk all the time, and he always, just like what he just said, I can tell you one thing, I'm never gonna come back. And I know that for sure, he's never gonna come back, and he's gonna be successful in this society. He's not gonna be, he's not an addict like I know you asked him a question, was he an addict? I don't believe my dad is an addict now. He's a changed man. He's not the same person that went to jail 23 years ago. So y'all really dealing with a whole different person, and I really hope that y'all just let him free, and he's gonna be very successful. Thank y'all, appreciate it.
Thank you, sir. Now we hear Randy Meyer.
Good afternoon, Randy Meyer, Assistant DA Jefferson Parish. And we're opposed to his request for parole. This was a violent offense. very strong victim opposition in this case. And based on the offense, we think there's insufficient time that's been served. He used a gun in this offense and basically tied up the person with duct tape as he was robbing that individual. The loss of 389 days of good time is very concerning. And as is, since 2016, I counted 8 contraband disciplinary reports, including the ones in 2016. And that's very concerning for me. So we are opposed to his request for parole.
And Mr. Meyer. Mr. Jackson, is there anything you'd like to say before we turn it over to Ms. Cameron?
Yes, I heard everything everybody had to say, and I understand. First, I would like to just thank you guys for having me, giving me this opportunity to be on this board. Second, I would like to just, if I had the chance to just apologize to Mr. Torres, the guy I robbed. You know, like my drug use to hurt him, destroy his business, something that he built strong. For me being incarcerated and learn, I really look at that as a poor choice I made. It's a choice that, you know, no one should make it to where someone that works so long to help themselves and me to take a drug addiction, place myself on them to destroy them. And I really, if I had the opportunity, Mr. Torres, I just really want to tell him I'm sorry. And sir, I have changed. Just a man that sit before you is not a man that would do that to harm anybody else. I would try to help people now, discourage people, give testimony to young people to tell them, hey, man, you got better things to do, make better choices and direct them in a better way. I thank you guys for having me.
Thank you very much, Mr. Jackson. We appreciate your comments. Ms. Cameron?
Marabella. Sitting here and listening today, Mr. Jackson has done exactly what he was asked to do at the last. Got the programming. He retook every class he had already taken, and he's remained disciplinary right up free. I know there's some concern about his disciplinary background, but I'd like to point out to the board just that, in 2020, we were all suffering from COVID. There was things that happened, and the ramifications of that, Mr. Jackson, was that I don't believe he's seen his family since that time. And so I believe that kind of became the wake-up call for him, because he realized that the actions that he has taken over his incarceration has delayed his ability to be with his. He has 13 grandchildren and only knows 2 of them. One of them, one of the girls that has got a relationship with, is going to be graduating high school next year. And I believe that COVID and that lack of the ability to visit with his family truly changed Mr. Jackson's perspective on what he needed to be doing as a person and during his incarceration. Mr. Roche, you asked about what organizations he's been a part of. What Mr. Jackson did not tell you is he's been active in churches both in Angola and here at Raymond LaBorde. He actually told me the other day, I believe he goes to church 4 or 5 times a week. So he has been very active in a church, plans to be active in church when he goes home. His reentry plan does take him through New Orleans for a short period of time. He is planning to end up in the Houston area with his family. He plans to, as soon as he gets home, file an ICOT, the ICOT paperwork. He was not able to do that through the facility while we were preparing for the hearing. So that is his ultimate plan. While he's in Louisiana, he will try to get his CDL license. He will be working with his son and possibly running some hot shot delivery driving, just to be making money while he's here waiting for that ICOT paperwork to go through. So ultimately, he will not remain in New Orleans, which I believe is the area where this crime occurred. And he has assured me that his plan is work, church, and family. He plans to do AA. We've had extensive conversations about AA and the access of AA now, especially with the web access of meetings. That's really convenient for those who need it. But he knows that he can't put himself in the position where he could make a bad decision again. And he knows that focusing on working, getting what he needs to do to catch up on the time that he missed as far as, earning money and retirement and the future Social Security credit, and then church and spending time with his 13 grandchildren and his children who he hasn't had a chance to see in 3 or 4 years. So with that, we just ask that y'all grant him parole under whatever conditions that y'all fit. He has the backing of not only the First 70 Plus, but our law firm as well as his amazing family, who are all successful and have broken the chains of incarceration in the Jackson family. Mr. Jackson is very proud of his children, as he should be. So we just ask that y'all grant him parole today under whatever conditions y'all fit. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Ms. Cameron. Panel ready to vote?
Yes.
Ms. Roche?
Mr. Melvin Jackson, you've only served 22% of your sentence. And that's a major concern for me. But you got positive remarks from Ward Myers. You've been at Greenville Board for 18 months and you've been right up free. You've been right up free since your last hearing. You took the programs that was recommended by the panel from the last meeting. You have excellent programs, positive remarks, rewarding, and I'm going to take your age in consideration. You're 63 years old, and if you don't get out now, you won't have a chance to build up a nest egg for retirement. And I'm concerned about that too. So based upon all the things I've just articulated, I'm going to take a chance and issue a golden ticket. And most people only get one golden ticket, Mr. Jackson. You're backing up 75 years of incarceration. So don't mess up, please. If you're released, and I'm going to vote to release you. Conditions after release: a curfew from 9 p.m. to 6 a.m. You ought to attend at least 3 NAAA meetings a week. And you ought to have random drug screens. And you must maintain your employment. Good luck.
Thank you, Mr. Roche. Mr. Freeman?
Okay, Mr. Jackson, I looked at this case and, it was a drug. There's no doubt. You've done everything you were supposed to since the last hearing. You remained right up free. My only major concern is I'm ready for you to go to Houston. I'm not ready for you to go back to New Orleans. So I'm gonna just give you a little bit extra, and I'm gonna grant conditional that you complete the Steve Hall program, and that'll give you time to do your interstate compact. And good luck to you.
Mr. Chairman, I'll amend my decision and make that conditional upon completion of the Steve Hall intensive substance use program.
Mr. Jackson, you have 2 votes to conditionally grant your release upon completion of the Steve Hall program. With the following conditions: once you're released, follow all recommendations of Steve Hall: curfew from 9 p.m. to 6 a.m., 3 AA meetings per week, random drug screens, and full-time employment. I agree with my colleagues, so my vote would be the same. So good luck to you.
Thank you, sir.